Detroit, once a thriving metropolis home to nearly 2 million people, now a crumbling shell of its former self. What led up to its demise, and what, if anything, can lead to its regeneration? While many will point to a changing global economy, the tragic fall of the automotive industry, the evaporation of once abundant manufacturing jobs, and a history of sometimes violent racial tension, one culprit has remained hidden in plain sight: the state. A true epidemic of organized government corruption and financial mismanagement, where taxes being generally twice as high as the U.S. average, the bureaucratic thieves in Detroit are unable to execute the simplest of government functions or provide the most basic services to its residents. There is another side to the story, however, one that hasn't yet been put into focus, until now. Creative individuals and entrepreneurs are discovering and implementing voluntary, mutually beneficial solutions to societal problems left in the wake of the devastation of the bloated and unsustainable government. These are the people working to create an independent and free Detroit.
Hi, I'm Katie Testa with the Local Focus, and we are here at the 4731 Arts Incubator in Detroit with Derek Weaver, the founder of the Grand River Creative Corridor. So hi, Derek, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So tell me about the GRCC. What is it? How did it get started?
Basically, the Grand River Creative Corridor is a half-mile stretch of Grand River between Rosa Parks and Warren Avenue is where it's mostly concentrated. And basically, we've taken 15 buildings and put murals on them in some of the vacant land along the stretch. We are kind of in the process of transforming them into like outdoor art galleries and outdoor art parks. And we've done a number of different things in the area. We've had big, massive cleanup days where we've had over 300 volunteers come out.
That's really impressive. So did it all start with like one building or?
So the project basically started when I was actually driving down Grand River. I saw a graffiti artist doing a mural, and I thought, maybe we could have him come and do something on the outside of the building that kind of reflects what we do on the inside. And at the 4731 Arts Incubator, we have 31 studios for artists and urban entrepreneurs. And I brought, Syntax was the name of the artist. I brought him through, told him about what we were doing, and say, hey, can you do something on the outside of the building that reflects what we do and kind of showcase it? So he came out and did a mural of like a fashion designer, hairstylist, a photographer, and an artist. And we had different people stop by, and small crowds would stop and watch them work, and they liked it and everything. And then after Syntax was done with that, he asked me about a wall on the other side of our parking lot. He ended up asking the owner, and the owner said, yeah, sure. And it was unbelievable the amount of people that stopped, young, old, black, white, people from the neighborhood, people from the suburbs. And I kind of just had a light bulb go off and say, people really like this. I was joking with Syntax and said, well, why don't we do the whole neighborhood? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like, I'll get all my graffiti friends together and we'll do all the buildings. So that's kind of how the idea started. And then I just basically started approaching a bunch of the property owners and business owners in the area. The first one I approached was this American Integrated Supply, they're formerly known as Perry Screw and Bolt. Said, hey, your building keeps getting vandalized. What about if we replace it with some graffiti murals? Maybe we can put some Screw and Bolt characters on it. And they were really receptive to the idea. And, I got their approval, and then went down to the junkyard, told them the same thing, and maybe we can put the Beltellier character up there. And he was like, yeah, sure, do whatever. They keep vandalizing my property anyway. So that's kind of really how it started, and it's just been kind of growing ever since.
has that been effective for them to kind of prevent property destruction?
Yeah, so basically, one of the goals of the Grand River Creative Corridor is, in a sense, it's a way to kind of control vandalism in the area because, it's a kind of a misconception that graffiti is related to gangs and drugs and criminals, but that's kind of the farthest thing from the truth. A lot of these graffiti artists are actually just that, they're artists, and they go out there and they'll scribble gang-looking type of graffiti up, but it's just all part of the graffiti culture. And what we've been able to do is create an environment and kind of in the process of building a community where it includes local graffiti artists, and instead of having them deteriorate a neighborhood, we've kind of channeled it in a way where it beautifies the neighborhood. I think that an art district and entrepreneur type of environment and community is something that Detroit really lacks. And I'm sure that you know this by the people that you've interviewed. There's all these different cool projects and cool little things going around on 7 Mile and Woodward and over in Corktown and over here. And what I'm trying to do is bring all those people here and concentrate it in one community. I mean, how cool would it be if you had the Heidelberg Project here, a hostel here, a boxing club here, if you had all these different things and all these different creative people and artists and entrepreneurs all concentrated in one environment and one community. Just imagine the impact of bringing all those people together and them having the opportunity to collaborate.
So what kind of, how are you reaching out to different entrepreneurs and artists and stuff? How do you find people to collaborate with and bring them in? Do they find you? They just hear about it, or?
It's kind of both. I've met a lot of artists and entrepreneurs just through the 473 Arts Incubator. We have 31 artists and entrepreneurs here, and we have different art shows. I met a lot of people through that. And then just kind of, getting involved in Detroit. I mean, you mentioned that you went to the Detroit Hostel earlier. I know Emily. I forget how I met Emily, but she started that, and it was the first hostel in Detroit. And Andy Diderossi of the Detroit Bus Company. It just seems like people that are trying to make a difference and trying to do good for the city, they somehow find each other. Yeah.
So if someone were interested in getting involved in this project, how would they go about doing that?
So, I mean, the thing is, with the Grand River Creative Corridor, we want to involve as many volunteers and artists as possible, and regardless of skill level or background or whatever. So, I mean, if people are interested in getting involved, they can go to our website, which is grccdetroit.com, or they can go to the Facebook, which is Facebook/grccdetroit.com. Facebook/grccdetroit. And, they can send us an email, or, they can come through. I mean, the thing is, what people can do to help the Grand River Creative Corridor is, if you're not artistically talented or you don't want to volunteer, get a group of friends together and come down on a Saturday and go walk around and take a look at all these cool murals. I mean, because, what the GRCC really showcases too is all the creative talent that we really have in the city. And, all the artists and volunteers that have contributed are doing it because they believe in Detroit and they believe in rebuilding this community.
Okay, Derek, thank you so much for talking to me today and for everything that you're doing here in Detroit. It's really an inspiring project, and we'd love to come back and follow up and watch it grow and see Detroit be revitalized. So.
No, thanks for coming out.